What's up, everybody? This is the Blue Review, Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 7, Dead Weight. And in this episode, we begin with Martinez accepting the governor and Lily, Tara, and Megan into the group. And, he's playing chess with Megan as well in between. Didn't really think too much about that when he was talking about her and whatnot, but it looks like he's really thinking about what his next move is going to be and not to think too much about it. And then, we get into Martinez, and then we have Pete and Mitch, which I think are brothers. So they're all going on a run. It's Martinez, the governor, Pete, Mitch. They go on a run and whatnot, and and then they come across a headless body and it says liar. Then they come across another headless body and it says rapist. And then they come across another body and it says it's not another headless body. Actually, it's a full body at a cabin, and he shot himself in the head and it says murderer. And they go in the cabin and whatnot, and then there's zombies in there, and the governor's bashing him in the head, and then there's two just zombie heads. They're just heads, and I believe those are the heads from the bodies from out there, and they're in there as well. And the governor is looking at that like this person tried to protect their camp and their family, and he did have a family because he found a picture of a wife, a daughter, and that man that shot himself in the head. And he's thinking. I think that was a turning point for the governor because he's thinking about he tried to protect these people and his family, and shit just didn't, the way you're supposed to, like very nice, like Rick, he just try to protect everybody the right way, do the right things, and yet you die anyway, so it's like no point, right? And the governor is thinking about that, because look, that's what happened to him. He was nice and everything. In Newberry, they had barbecues, they had everything, and then, shit just hit the fan, and then he turned into who he is now. So he's kind of like he's remembering that, and it's bringing his good old nasty self back, which I'm so happy about. And then they're drinking and talking about the past, and they keep, I think I believe it was Mitch that asked him, what about you, what about your past? And the governor's all like, what about yours? And, he's just totally like dismissed, like he doesn't want anybody to know what happened. Martinez knows what happened, but he's not going to say anything. And the governor doesn't want to talk about it anymore. He's Brian Harriet right now, fucking pussy, and anyway. So their guys were talking about each other. One, Mitch is a tank operator, but he was an ice cream man before. Pete was, I don't know what the fuck he was. I don't even remember Pete because I don't really care. I think he's stupid. I think Pete is stupid. I don't like him. And then we come across, and then they go back to the camp. They're all, having a good time and blah, blah, blah. There's just something there. It's like, I don't know. Okay, like, so the governor circles something on the map, and it looks like that's where the prison is. He says, we need a new place, or finding something like, it was something like that, or we need to find a new home, or something like that, or we need to move soon, or something like that, of that nature, which I believe that's where the prison was that he circled on the map. And then he says and then we come across they're drinking and they're having a good time, and Martinez kind of knows the governor in a way, and then I believe it was Taro's are like, I hope Brian doesn't tell me anything about himself. I hope he opens up to me and blah blah blah, or says something. And then he doesn't say anything. He smiles and just picking up plates and leaves. And then Martinez is like, okay, I'm gonna go. And he's been drinking a little bit, and then he asks the governor, okay, I want to show you something. So he has like a golf set. He has clubs, he has balls or whatever, and he's hitting. They're on top of a trailer, and he's just hitting balls into this big pit that's out there, and he's trying to get a ball into there. And then he's asking him, and then, Martinez mentions that black guy. I don't know, his name is, and the governor said his name is Shumpert or Shapard, or I'll just call him Champagne because that's easier to remember. So he says, oh yeah, Champagne died and whatnot, and blah blah blah. And so the black guy's dead. That's those of you that's like, wasn't there 3 of them at the end of season 3? Yes, there was 3, and that guy's dead. So then Martinez sees that the governor's changed, and he's glad that the governor changed, and he says, maybe we can rule this camp together, share the crown or whatnot. And the governor just grabs a golf club and hits him right in the head. And then Martinez falls, and he's still alive. And he falls, and he's like, oh, shit. And then, the governor, I think he kicked him off the trailer, so he fell. And, he fell off the trailer. And then the governor drags him to the pit of zombies and feeds him to the zombies, and he's all like, I'm not, or no, I'm not, or some shit like that. And I guess he's fighting with himself because he knows what he needs to do. He can't have a leader like Martinez that is soft. He needs he needs the governor the way he is now, because the last time the governor was soft and he was leading, look what happened. He lost, everything went to shit. Newberry's burnt down to the ground. And so, he kills Martinez, and then he goes back to camp and he says, we need to leave. He tells Tara, and he circles, like I said, he's like, what I'm about to say is he circles a thing on the map, a part of the map, and I believe that's where the president is saying that's where the prison is, and he says he needs a new home, or they need to leave and find a new place or whatnot. Then he takes off. No, then they pack their things and they leave, and it's nighttime, and they come across, he stops the car and he gets off, and he come across like a bunch of zombies, like a bunch of them, but they're all from the torso up because they're stuck in mud. Then he looks back at the car and stuff, and he's looking, and then he just gets back in the car and just goes back to the camp, which was completely pointless at this point. I don't know why they even put that in there. I don't even know what that means. And they slept it off, and then Pete makes an announcement to the camp saying, oh, yeah, Martinez got drunk and fell into the pit, because they didn't know what happened, right? And we'll vote for a new leader in a few days. Then they tell the governor, hey, we need to make a run. So it's Pete, Mitch, and the governor making a run. And then they come across this other camp that had Bob Ryer around their camp, and they had supplies, and Mitch is all like, okay, let's just rob them. And then Pete's all like, we're not going to kill anybody, we're not going to rob anybody, because I'm a complete pussy and I want to do things right, so let's just go find our own supplies. And then they left it like that, and the governor's just thinking, doesn't say anything. So they just left, and then they have like an animal, they caught an animal in their traps and whatnot, and they grabbed their shit, and they're going back, and they pass that camp. When they pass that camp, somebody has come already through, killed those people, and stole their supplies and left. So it's like they could have done that and had all the supplies, and it happened to them anyway. And that's what Mitch was saying to Pete. And Pete's just like a complete dumbass because, it happened to him, right? But he just wanted to take the high road. So when they got back to camp, the governor went into Pete's trailer, gutted him because he's a wuss, and went to Mitch's trailer, had a gun pointed at him, said, hey, let's do things the right way. We can't always be the hero. Look what happens, and blah, blah. And then Mitch is like, well, okay, I guess. Like, he's the new Martinez in a way. He's the new Martinez. And, he's like, well, okay. So they came up with a lie saying that Pete died when they went on the run. And they threw him into the governor got rid of him and put him in the lake. So, then the governor, excuse me for a minute. Okay, then the governor just went for a little Sunday drive, just driving through the woods in my GMC, just driving, and then he stops, gets off, he is looking at something, and then he's looking, with his one eye, and you're like, what the fuck is he looking at? And you see Rick and Carl in the prison, and you see them, and I'm like, oh shit. And then he looks over here to the left, I believe, and he sees Michonne talking to Herschel, and they're outside the gates, and they're outside the gates, they're talking, and Michonne's smiling and whatnot, and then the governor takes out his gun and is pointing right at Michonne, and the episode ended, and I was like, oh my God, no, why did the episode end? I was like, fuck, I was pissed off. but it is getting great. It looks, it's just, all the epic finales coming up. It's just going to be freaking crazy because what the governor is going to do in the next episode, which is the mid-season finale, he is going to, you know, manipulate the group into getting them to go to kick Rick out of the to get Rick out of the prison and everybody that's there, and make the prison their own. He's all like, these people lied to me, these people murdered and blah blah blah, and I lost my camp and blah blah blah. We're out here dying. Why we deserve that place? That's our ground and blah blah blah. Just leaves just saying all this crap to, then they believe him because they don't know who he really is, so they believe him because of all the things he's done for them already. And guess what? They're going to war, and they have a tank. They have a fucking tank. And if you see the clips for the next episode, you see fucking Rick. He's all upset. He's saying no, and he's shooting. Boom, boom, boom. Then you see Herschel's like this, and there's a fire behind him, and you see a leather jacket and the governor's gun. So it looks like Herschel's gonna get it, and maybe he brings it. The governor brings Herschel back, but dead, and he displays it, and Rick gets crazy. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Him killing Michonne. Will it happen? It might. You just see it, and it just looks crazy. Like they're going to war again, and it's gonna be just crazy awesome. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for next week. We're gonna have some good things. And it said some will fall, so the people are gonna die in this episode. More, and it said some, so there's more than one that's gonna die. Who is it gonna be from Rick's group? Who is it gonna be from the governor's group? I mean, who is it gonna be? I mean, it's just gonna go down. It's getting crazy. The governor's back and he's ruling. He has a new army. He's gonna chase Rick out of chase Rick out of it, out of the prison, or is something going to happen where whoever that group was that burned that campsite and took those supplies, will that group come in and fuck with them, and that's just a three-way war? Or does the governor team up with Rick and take that group down because that group is too powerful? Who knows who it would be? Could have been Carol. Can Carol have her own group, and those the people that that killed those people and took those supplies? We never know. There's so much that's going to happen. Thank you guys for watching this video. One more week, we're going to get all kinds of chaos, which I love to see. We still don't know who the traitor is. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and I believe it will be answered in the next episode. And the one thing the governor said real quick, right before where he's telling the group, to lead them to Rick's camp, he said, some are good and some are bad. So somebody might be in the inside. Whoever the traitor is in the inside, and he knows them, and he knows they're there. And he says some are good, so some of them are with him. Who are they? We're going to get these questions answered or whatnot, and we might not. We probably will find out who the traitor is. We might not, but we'll see. Thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know about the episode. About what's going to happen, and it's just getting more interesting. I don't even know what to say anymore. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting my videos, and I'll talk to you guys later.